gone over these last 3 hours. First off, I think it's great timing. It's in the middle of CES, so you've got a lot of tech people involved.
Yes.
Tech is becoming more and more a part of this sports betting evolution with a lot of people betting on the palm of their hands and all the analytics stuff that's going on and so forth. So it's great timing during CES. It's a perfect pairing. And you're right in the heart of the NFL playoffs. It's an important time for betting. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's something they continue to do. I think this was a brilliant stroke, and Brian Musburger standing a few feet away from you right now. I'll probably ask him about that when we get off the phone.
Is this something? It sounds like it's more of an industry session at this point, but is this something that you can see expanding to, with the expansion of legalized sports wagering throughout the United States? Just imagine what it's going to be like in 2 years as more states catch on to how much money they can make with this. Is this something that could be turned into a major convention down the road? I mean, I think the possibilities there, not only from an industry standpoint, but from a gambler standpoint, where it'd be something they'd want to attend.
Right. No, I totally agree, and some of this is already happening. It would be nice if this one took off here specifically to have something Vegas-centric, because, look, Vegas is still the center of the sports betting universe,
sure.
and some of the companies that are running the sports books in other states are Vegas companies, or Nevada companies. So, yes, I could see that, and it's already kind of taking place. There was a sports betting conference in New York City at the end of November that I and Covers were grateful to be a part of, and there's one coming up a little bit later this year in Boston. So I think this is great, and like I said, I think that the Musburgers and VSiN and 76 Capital are going to be pretty pleased with this turnout today. So I'm sure the wheels are spinning in their heads about, okay, how can we expand this? How can we make it, while there's some great, in the weeds stuff, how can we expand this to make it relatable more to the everyday folks who are out betting a few bucks on the games and so forth? I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Does this relate at all to like the Sloan conference that MIT has hosted for many years that has a lot of hardcore analytics and certainly some betting, but the focus hasn't been on betting over the years?
Well, at least with this second session, yes, the first session was much more relatable to how all this affects books, how they're going to be working in the future to drive customer experience, mobile, handheld offerings that you're going to have that are going to help you compete against an ever expanding market, a quickly expanding market. But the second session definitely is much more. I mean, like I said, it's Swish Analytics, it's Shot Tracker. Some of the stuff they were breaking down in there was fascinating, but probably a little mind-boggling for just the average guy going up to get down on some NBA tonight. But, in due time, 5-6 years ago, how many of us were really on Twitter or really into Twitter? So you never know. You never know.
And let me ask you this: how long is this conference going on down at the South Point? Is it today only?
It's just today only. They had a little meet and greet at the social thing kind of at the beginning from 11:30 to noon. They had a session from noon to 12:15, and they're in the middle of another one now from 1:30 to I don't know if it wraps at 2:30 or 2:45, but just a one-day thing and a one afternoon thing really. So it's not something that it's really manageable if you want to come down and take in both sessions and so forth, but perhaps it's something that expands because it's definitely it's interesting stuff, no question.
Now, what's the betting odds on? Do we have a line yet on whether if they have something like this next year and it's in Las Vegas, that Jimmy Vaccaro, who's moving back east to the Pittsburgh area, will come out and spend some vacation time in Las Vegas? Because this town's not going to be the same without Jimmy,
You're absolutely right. I would have to think that after Jimmy gets numbness in his toes for a couple of months of winter, that he might be looking to. And the white long sleeve T-shirt might not be thick enough in Pittsburgh. He might like it where the white long sleeve T-shirt is ample clothing on a mid-January day. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back, spend a little vacation time here.
That sounds good. So let's talk a little bit about what took place on Monday in the Clemson-Alabama game. I've heard mixed results. I don't think anybody did badly with it. I don't think anybody did spectacularly well as far as the books are concerned. What did you hear?
I think that's a pretty accurate description of it. Talked with a couple of different guys. First off, let's start with Jimmy since we were already talking about it. I talked to him just a little bit ago before the session started, or late this morning, and he said, look, at 2 p.m, 3 hours before kickoff, we were a huge loser. We were going to be a big loser, presuming, based on the outcome of the game, hindsight being 20/20, of course. He's like, we were going to be a big loser at 2 p.m. But when they moved the line down, they were at 5.5. They went down to 5, took a bunch of Alabama -5 money, so that helped them. And he said they beat the first half pretty good because there was a lot of people taking Bama -3 in the first half. And then they did well at the halftime. They had a $20,000 wager come in at halftime at Bama -7, thinking Bama surely is going to get back in this game and is at least going to win the second half, even if they don't manage to win. So they did pretty good there, and they got a lot of. That was one of many halftime tickets that came in on Alabama. Jimmy said it was like 5 times the tickets, or not 5 times the tickets. Said overwhelming majority of the tickets, and only a handful of tickets at halftime came in on Clemson at the +7 or +7.5 or whatever it was they were offering. And he said the In Progress did really well, but so overall, like you said, Dave, it was really a mixed result. Jimmy said it was a small winning day. It just if the game would have kicked off at noon, they would have gotten steamrolled. The fact that it kicked off at 5, they did all right. MGM books, they were over their skis because they got a ton of late money just before kickoff from one guy on Clemson. He made 4 6-figure bets. First half, full game, first half money line, full game, first half spread. Won them all, but he got greedy and he put $240K down, middling at halftime on Alabama.
Whoops.
And he gave a big chunk of it back. So that helped them quite a bit. They were able to kind of balance the books there a little bit. It worked out okay. I think Jeff Stone back there said they ended up being a small loser. And then John Murray over at Superbook, he said they ended up being a very modest winner as well. But a lot of these books were in a situation, I'm sure you guys heard this as you were doing your show Monday and even last week leading up to it. A lot of books were in a kind of a best position of Alabama win, Clemson cover.
Right.
And that was definitely the case at the Superbook. So that obviously it didn't fall that way. There was by halftime it seemed pretty clear it was going to be pretty difficult for Alabama to win. So obviously they're certainly not going to cover. And a lot of people were taking it's a semi flyer on Clemson. It's not a long shot at all, but it was plus money, so they're taking Clemson on the money line.
And that's a fascinating report because it speaks so much about how betting is different in 2019 than it was when I moved to Las Vegas, say, in 1998. Where you have not only the in-game affecting the handle significantly and the halftime affecting the handle significantly and the future book affecting how, do they have more liability on Alabama and Clemson? There's so many different factors in play other than just did the book make money on the point spread or not?
No question. And they were even saying this leading into it. And there are scenarios that are coming up in the NFL playoffs right now and certainly in these bowl games and in the national championship game where the rooting interest it belies what's going on with just the side and total and money line. It's like, well, wait a minute. We might be willing to take the loss on the game because the big picture is we're going to kill it on the futures or we expect we're going to do really well to the props. So, we don't mind if we end up getting wrong-sided on the game itself. There's so many other factors. And as you point out, Teddy, the in-game, I was going back and forth with Derek Wilkinson at the Superbook during the game. And early to mid-fourth quarter, they were just about done hanging money line on in-game. They were just like, I've just about had it with this. But Alabama got that score, and they thought, okay, we'll give it one more shot here. And they did. But then they didn't put up money line the rest of the way. But at that point, they were already approaching 6 figures on in-game play.
Wow.
So I thought that spoke volumes. The Superbook did multiple millions of dollars in handle on that game, more than the Rose Bowl, which everybody knew was a really well-bet game around town. So the handle was fantastic on this in a variety of ways.
And Superbook, by the way, I never saw this happen before, but it happened on Monday night. They actually, while the game was going on, we got a change in favorites for next year's national championship.
Yeah. That was unique.
It was wild.
I was like, what haven't you seen? But that did happen during the game.
Yep.
Where Bama opened the favorite, and by the end of the game, Clemson was the favorite on the future book.
Let's look at this weekend, and it looks like it's going to be one of those weekends where, I hesitate to say this, you'll have better information on it than I do, but this looks like a weekend that the books could be looking at a lot of black situations. I think the books are going to be in good shape going in, possibly on all 4 of these games.
Yeah, even one that stands out for me right now is the last one, the Eagles-Saints game. I ran through all of these with Jeff Stoneback at MGM on Monday. And look, I know MGM's in a little bit different spot. They're going to be taking more public play, being up and down the strip, but the insights were still interesting, and the money's still interesting. I reviewed the games with Jeff this morning. Eagles Saints on Monday, they got huge money line bets on both sides. So obviously this isn't sharp play. This is just large casino players. But they got a $350,000 bet on. Actually, I should give these to you in order. They got a $100,000 bet on the Eagles at plus 320. So after getting that, they adjusted the Saints on the money line to minus 350, and another bettor came in and did $350,000 at the minus 350. So they were almost able to kind of balance themselves out right there on those two bets. So it kind of speaks to your point, Dave. They may get themselves in as the week progresses into a bit of a black situation. As far as the other games go, Jeff said he expects to be rooting for the Colts, but right now in that Colts-Chiefs game, the opener on Saturday, the Colts money is running 2-1. Sharp money on the over in that game, by the way. Cowboys-Rams, they haven't moved this line yet, and he thinks this is definitely going to be a two-way play game on this. Cowboys still a public team, although obviously the public bettors love the Rams too, so you probably get a good amount of public play on both sides, which the book won't. I don't think they'll complain about that much. They are a little heavy on the Rams, and the larger bets are on the Rams, but they haven't gotten off of 7 yet. I understand that there may be some minus 120s and maybe some 7.5 out there, so maybe they will be moving, but they like the way that game's shaping up. I think the Chargers-Patriots game is the most interesting. I love you guys' perspective on this. They opened 4.5 at MGM, down to 4. And Jeff said Monday, he's like, hey, I expect money on the Chargers, and the line movement went with that expectation. And he thinks the book may be in the really rare situation of rooting for New England in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the public's still going to come in and hit New England on Sunday. It's still Saturday. The Patriots, they're still the Patriots. Very quickly, we need to find out. There's some really great stuff coming up at Covers.com, including the big game party that's scheduled for just down the road.
Yes, absolutely. We got a couple cool things coming up. We'll be doing a big promotion on Super Bowl weekend at the Link, at the Book at the Link. It's this brand new space, a really awesome space inside the Link on the Strip there. A new spot for us that we want to check out, that you guys, everybody's going to want to check out. We'll have a party going on Saturday night, and then we'll be there most of the all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be doing a lot of great swag giveaways and so forth. And again, we'll be there all day Sunday, and part of that is going to be a chance to win a $1,000 bankroll to bet on the game, and whatever you win from that bankroll, you're taking home with you. So it's a win-win situation there to get in that. There'll be a drawing for that. So if you're looking at, still thinking about where you want to be for Super Bowl Sunday, I think you should come over to the Link and spend some time with us. It'll be a lot of fun. And of course, we've got a ton of content that you're going to want to check out in the next couple of weeks. And Dave and Teddy, two of our resident covers experts, we got good deals going on there, too. You should check that out. Use the promo code ESPN Covers, and you can get 50% off, 50% off your first purchase if you're a new user to the Covers Experts realm. That
sounds great. And don't forget to participate in the free contests that are available at Covers. They cost nothing to enter. You can have a lot of fun. Check out the forums if you're looking to make your views on sports known as far as your expertise is a better. The forums at Covers get tremendous viewership, and it's a great place to kind of get your name out there and get yourself known.
No question. We just have so many cool free things going on. You can, whether it's content or contests or forums or whatever, there's just a lot of ways you can get involved without spending a penny and help make you a smarter bettor, or let people out there know, hey, you are a pretty smart bettor.
Patrick, it's always a pleasure, man. Have a great time at the conference that's going on, and we'll hopefully see you here next week.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys.
Patrick Everson. Follow him on Twitter at Covers_Vegas. Coming up next, we go way back with this guy. He's been a good handicapper for a lot of years. I'm anxious to hear his views on whatever games we fire at him for the weekend. Rob Vino coming up next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
Are you experiencing pain and looking to avoid surgery or the use of narcotics? If your answer is yes, then it's time to contact Dr. Thomas Kuchera over at Creighton Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Dr. Kuchera is double board certified in both anesthesiology and pain medicine and is committed to providing diagnosis and treatment plans for each of his patients' specific needs. He is wholly invested in the pursuit of non-narcotic based methods to alleviate pain, including physical therapy, nerve blocks, and steroid injections. Say goodbye to pain and visit CrevettiOrtho.com today.
License number NSCB 79415.
Google tells me the human body is more than 60% water. 60%! I guess that's why pure water is so important to a long, happy, healthy life. Now, are you ready for some really good news? The Sunny Plumber can give you the pure